Hi friend, this is Dr. Apurv Mehra.
Hi, I'm Dr. Zainab Vora.
So thank you Zainab for having me in this video with you. And you know, let me start this video a little different. You are a teacher and you are a mother. So you are a mother and a teacher, right? And you decide that you'll try to create a difference in the life of your students. All right. There are a lot of distractions around you, but you have this single aim that you want to do good to your students, so you teach, right? So my question is, amongst handling the responsibility of a child, the family, so many distractions, how do you maintain your focus towards this teaching? So the question today is, from Dr. Zainab, is how to maintain focus. That's what our topic is, focus.
You said that we multitask, all of us do, and what I want to tell you is that when you get to doing something, the actual idea is to not multitask. Multitasking happens as a result. It's not something that you set out to do. So it is very important that while you are studying, or while I am studying, or while I am with Zara, or while I am preparing a class, I only decide to do that. I don't decide to do the other thing which I have to do. So it is very important, one, to focus on one thing at a time, and second, to prioritize. What you have to focus at that moment, you prioritize. So the idea is, the bottom line is, prioritize and do it one thing at a time. Multitasking will be the end result. What happens a lot of times, because I want to do so many things, because a lot of students want to do so many things, they want to do it all right now. In the process, they are not able to do anything well, right? So this is very, very important. Do one thing at a time. Don't multitask in the moment. Secondly, distractions. When we talk about distractions, I think the biggest problem for the students is social media in today's time. So it's a blessing and a boon. It's blessing because it brings us closer to people that we usually wouldn't have been. But the problem in this phase of life, for most of our students who are preparing for the exam, is that it's a time bound event and you have to finish your syllabus in limited amount of time. So you have to cut down on your social media time. There is just no sideways about it. That you remove social media distractions at this time. Do not care, worry about what others are doing, whether they are happy, they are sad, what is going on social media. Everybody is happy, but anyways, so you don't want to spend so much time, and you have to put a timer on it. In our last video also, we are discussing, there's a lot of insensible loss of time which happens. So right now, if I open Insta and I'm like, okay, I will just take a short break, that break will be 30 minutes before we know it. So you have to put a timer on your social media distractions that you want to spend 5 minutes on it after you have done the work that you were supposed to. So use it as a reward and use it in a time bound manner. Your timer should start the moment you're sitting starting Insta. Otherwise, there's a lot of insensible loss of time that you don't realize.
Right. So three things, right? What I take from here is, you decide what you want to do. So most of you who appear for entrance exam are between 21 to 30. So that's the time when your career has to develop and you have to decide what you exactly want to do. And that's the time you are often confused what to do, right? So if you know that you're preparing for an entrance exam in India, or maybe an MLE or whatever exam, so you already know that that's your priority. You have chosen that over everything else. This is also the age where everything will happen in your life, and that's called as distractions. But what I want to tell you is that earlier you settle your career, the better are the chances for going to the next phase of your life which you want to go to, right? So what she's saying, that multitasking will be the later feature but cannot happen right now. So the problem is that पढ़ाई करने का मन ही नहीं करता था ना, आप कहते हो फोकस, राइट? यू से कि ठीक है, I don't want watch Insta. I don't go to YouTube. I know that I have to study.
Yeah.
मुझे पढ़ना भी है, right? But मेरा मन ही नहीं करता. The problem is I am not able to see. Means I am sitting in front of the book, and somehow I am lost in spite of sitting in front of the book. That what do I do? Right? This is something which is so crucial कि यार ये तो मेरा पढ़ने का टाइम था, मैं 2 घंटे से बैठा रहा, और मैं उसके ऊपर ध्यान नहीं दे पाया. नाउ what was the way that you changed your life that got you rank 1 in multiple exams, right? You topped NIMHANS, you topped AIMS, and the gap between the two was 2 to 3 months. It means you were consistently maintaining your level. क्योंकि मेन तो लड़ाई जिनमें होती है, बड़े योद्धा दोनों एग्जाम देते हैं. सो आपने वहां पे सबको हराया. सो व्हाट डिड यू डू डिफरेंट इन 2015 which others did not do to maintain yourself into that rhythm, momentum, and how did you maintain your focus yourself during that time? What did you do?
Okay. So I'll talk about multiple things here. One thing I want to talk about is called time boxing, right? So you divide your day into various slots. So this is what I tell my students also, that you need to have at least 2 slots of 4 hours each, because this is the time of our exam. 3 to 3.5 hours is our exam duration, right? So I want to train my mind to give me that focus for 4 hours at a stretch. It will not happen on the first day. जब मन नहीं कर रहा पढ़ने का, it will not happen. It is a marathon that you run over a very long period of time. It will increase. Your efficacy will increase. This 4 hour duration will increase. So what I used to do is I used to have 2 slots in the first half of the day when I'm starting off for 4 hours each. In between, you have a short break of half an hour where you have your food, you have your coffee, get back at it again. During these 4 hours, 2 4 hours time boxes that we have, everything else, is just on a full stop. Everything else has to stop. Right now it's between you, your mobile phone, which has only the app that you're studying open. It is your notes, it's your books which is there in front of you, right? So during these 4 hours, nothing else matters. The phone has to be on silent and everything else can wait. So that is what you have to tell yourself. So this is how, again, when I talk about insensible loss of time, you have to make every minute of your day count. I know it sounds very nerdy when I say it कि पूरे दिन पढ़ना है, but this is what it is. When you are into that zone, then nothing else should matter. So 4 hours, 2 time boxing. When you are with your notes, you are studying with high efficacy. As the day passes, the efficacy drops. So after that, the latter part of the day, right, out of the 24 hours, 8 hours you've studied, remaining time, now you go into passive learning. So what I used to realize very well was my own limitations. So everybody has their own limitations, right? So you got to understand that you can't just study for the entire 24 hours. All right, I've given my maximum efficacy for 2 4 hour slots. Now let's talk about passive learning. So in passive learning, see a video, whatever is the video that you have to see, where you don't really have to recall with your mind, somebody else is teaching you. So see those videos, do some MCQs. So every day I used to have a part of the day around 3 hours, 3 hours in the night when my efficacies are low, I'd practice multiple choice questions, or I would have to see some videos. You'd see the videos. So this is how you have to plan your day ahead, so that you focus better when you are into those zones, and you know that okay, after these 4 hours I'm getting a break, after this I have this. So your day is planned ahead of your time. So, and also take it one day at a time. When I'm in those 4 hours, I'm not thinking ki acha next time mein ye karna hai, raat ko ye karna hai. Right now you focus in the moment, right? So you focus in the moment, don't get overwhelmed, take it one day at a time. I think these are the golden rules that you have to live by, so that you can maintain your focus and also not get overwhelmed at the same time.
Right. So, two things I want to ask here, Zainab. When you said time boxing of 4 hours each, are you doing the same subject?
It depends. It can be different subjects also. Ideally, yes, one subject for 4 hours, and then maybe in the next 4 hours you can mix it up with a different subject.
Are you reading topics or you're doing questions?
Reading topics. So these 4 hours of the first half of the day, it's about active recall. It's about your brain, your notes. It's about reading the notes actively.
Right. So the total of 8 hours.
Yes.
Right. And you have a break for 30 minutes.
30 minutes, 40 minutes. 40 minutes, I think you should put a cap on it.
Right. So I feel that the problem is, why do you lose focus? Is the disinterest. You don't want to study.
Yeah.
Example, if somebody tells a person that go out and find out a way of being active physically, and majority of the people will initially say go and hit the gym. But majority of the people do not like going to the gym.
Yeah.
So you don't like it.
Yeah.
So they struggle. Same is with the studies, somehow when you're preparing for entrance exam, you know that the result gets you glory,
Yeah.
takes you ahead in your career, but you just don't want to study because you don't like it. There's no juice in it, right? So if you contrary give them an idea that you want to stay active, go and play cricket instead of gym, they will go and play cricket. So this is easier. So if you are able to love what you're doing,
Yeah.
focus improves.
Yeah.
All right. So Zainab, I don't like to study. So my 4 hours are difficult, but I have 40 minutes in between. So I can use it to be greedy that if I study for 4 hours, I have the freedom to enjoy those 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So this is something which you can think about, because you can imagine that these 35 to 40 minutes, fortunately at the peak of your career, every day you can do what you love to do. Maybe talk to a friend, maybe watch a small episode of a series, maybe just sleep for half an hour, or maybe cook, maybe go for a walk, whatever you do. Because what I feel is that majority of the people lose focus because they don't like what's happening around it.
Yeah.
So if you can create interest, and yes, if you can just go to that dream, as we talk about, that this is what you will become next year, and if that excites you, then you can probably do this time boxing. Second question I have, do you agree to this point?
Yes,
Yeah.
I also want to say something. So in life, at this stage also, or any time in life, human beings will do something because of an incentive. That is how our normal human behavior is, that if I have an incentive to do something, I'll end up doing it. So there are various incentives that you have to study. अगर कोई मुझे बोलता है मेरा मन नहीं कर रहा, why should I study? Why should I clear NEET PG? So various incentives. One obviously is that you will be set in your career. जो आपके पेरेंट्स भी आपको बताते होंगे कि बच्चे कब सेट हो गए, आपके नेबर्स पूछते होंगे कि आपका बच्चा अभी तक पढ़ रहा है, राइट? सो दैट इज द बिगेस्ट इंसेंटिव दैट यू विल स्टार्ट ऑफ इन योर जर्नी ऑफ बीइंग सेटल्ड. आई डोंट नो, सेटल्ड इज ऑल्सो समथिंग वेरी सब्जेक्टिव, बट देन एटलीस्ट आपका ड्रीम ब्रांच और एनी ब्रांच दैट यू वांट टू टेक, यू विल स्टार्ट द रेसिडेंसी एंड यू विल बी ऑन योर वे. वंस योर रेसिडेंसी स्टार्ट्स, आई थिंक वी कैन सेफली से दैट you are on your way to become a medical professional, right? After that, the rest of the journey becomes relatively easier. So obviously this is the biggest incentive or the objective that you are aiming for at the why you are studying. But agar ye enough nahi hai, I think what bigger incentive then the fact that this would be the last time that you would have to study anatomy or biochemistry
Yeah.
or micro or the subjects which you hate. So why don't you just want to finish it off? कभी ना कभी तो पढ़ना ही है. Now it's up to you कि ये 3 months अच्छे से पढ़ लो या फिर 2 साल अच्छे से पढ़ो. So this is what you have to decide, that okay, I want to get done with it. I think there is no bigger incentive than this, that you will be done with preparing and just studying, So this is something that you have to look at, that okay, why do I want to even do this? So look for the incentives to do it, and then your focus will, I think, automatically improve, and with time you will also enjoy. Just believe me, right now if you feel कि मुझे नहीं मन लग रहा, as you see, your scores are improving, you are doing a test, your score is improving, GTs में improve हो रहा है, rank better हो रहा है, it will actually motivate you. That's why we keep saying, even in like BTR, our schedule is modeled such that okay, ये GT1, ये GT2, you have to see a score of +5 in every GT. So when you see that happening, you will get that positive reinforcement that okay, what I'm doing is working, I need to do more of it. So you have to run for that positive reinforcement, and it will happen. So maybe once you feel that okay, मेरा score stuck हो रहा है, मेरा score कम हो रहा है, मेरा rank even worse जा रहा है, get up again, it will improve. It's a matter of time. If you keep working hard, you're doing it in the right direction, there is no reason that it will not improve. So you have to use these baby incentives on the way to keep the journey going, otherwise it becomes very difficult.
Similarly, when we are feeding our kids, supposedly there are certain things which are healthier, we want them to have it, and they don't want to have it. So you put something which they love, and you tell them, first you will have this bowl of salad, then you will get this piece of small cake. So that's the incentive. So if you finish off that bowl, that's what she said, finish off anatomy, biochem, or maybe the subjects you like, so that later on you can be on the journey that you want to ahead on. I do agree that once you join residency, your life is on a path, just like when you joined MBBS, your life is on path. I don't know how much it has come on path, but still, that's a feeling. But you'll have to continuously upgrade yourself, evolve yourself. One more thing, what she just said, the results, as she said, that as you keep on appearing for the exams and your results keep on improving, they motivate you. Also, if you focus well and you are into action, the best motivation which I feel is action. It's not about discussion. So if you are acting towards your goal, there is nothing more motivating, because you are giving that fight, which is very, very important. Now, she said two things, right? Time boxing, 4 hour with some gap in between to do things which you love or to relax your brain. Then go for passive learning. Now, the passive learning, I will add one more thing here, that if supposedly you have invested a day and you see that 4 hour, you were trying to get a good input, go for passive learning. But if you feel in a day that there is something drying you up and you're not able to get the juice into your studies, now into that passive learning, one important thing is ask your mentor what I should do. One more thing which I feel is going to play a major role in whatever you will achieve in your life is your mental peace. Because if you have this mental calm to fight it out, your results are bound to become better. So as she just said, the incentives. One of the incentive thing is that you know that this fight will require mental strength. And people who finally appear better in it are the people who stay calm. For example, if you look at the fantastic article that Neeraj Chopra has written about why Australian team defeated the Indian team, I'm sorry to come back to the same thing again, is because the mindset they have, the mental strength they have, the endurance they had on the field is much more important. So trust me, being into medical profession, there'll be lots of ups and downs with others' lives, with their own life. But what you need to understand is if your mental endurance is strong, anybody who's in Cerebellum, I know the internal stories. They have reached this level because their endurance was more than the sufferings that they had in their life, right? What dominates decide how much you dominate in your career. So this is very, very important. So passive learning from the other person, from the MCQs and the explanations, and absolutely to develop your mental strength. This is an area where you need to work on yourself every day. You should not let yourself dry for one more day, because here every day matters. Anything here, Zainab, you want to put on?
Apart from this, like what I want to also add, slightly off topic maybe, but every day try and be physically active for at least 30 minutes. I think it is something we don't talk about very frequently, but you have to go for at least a walk, for a brisk walk for 30 minutes, or if you can go to the gym, go to the gym for 30 minutes. Do any sort of sports that you like. I think this will really help your mental peace also. It will keep you grounded. It will give you the perspective that you're leading a balanced life, because while during this phase you are so much engrossed in doing one thing. You just have one thing in your mind, and we keep talking about it in all of our videos also, that it becomes overwhelming, to say the least. So you need to be, you need to have some sort of an outlet where you can channelize your energy, and you can also stay fit at the same time. It will help in a lot of areas, including your focus as well. So do yoga. If yoga doesn't work for you, go to the gym. If that doesn't work for you, play any sport that you like, or just go for a walk. So I used to tell my students that you should have one mandatory walk every day. So every day 30 minutes at least, sham ko take out that time. When you're done with your 4 hours plus 4 hours ka slot, your third incentive of the day will be that 30-minute ka physical activity which you have to do. If that's not an incentive, if it's a majburi for you, take it as a majburi. Slowly you will like it. So just do this. It will help you focus. It will help you stay grounded, and there are so many other benefits which you obviously can tell better. Yeah.
But I'll say about this, because this came from the point that it gives you mental peace. It makes you more active. Zainab, if you can walk and talk, if you have somebody with you, maybe your family member or a close friend, or maybe anything else that you want to settle your life with, and if these 30 minutes you dedicate yourself, just yourself, and talk. You don't have to talk about your studies, because in the last video I told that if you teach, you learn. That's a different aspect. Here you can just talk, take it easy. As she said, when I was preparing, I was staying in the hostel, and the next year when I was giving my next attempt, I was staying at home. At home, I used to go around a walk in the park, and I used to look around the beautiful trees. And you saw the weather. You will see that in different weathers, they will shed their leaves to get the new ones. And that's the process of life which was teaching me so much, that This is what you should never give up. From a tree, if you look at, it sheds off its leaves and then it grows again. So then, why can't a human being understand this aspect that these are phases and you have to rebuild yourself, right? There is so much to look around. Nature is a very, very strong thing. So if you walk and then talk to yourself also, there is something called as analysis where you tell yourself, look यार, मैंने आज वॉक भी किया, मैंने अपने किसी करीब के साथ बात भी किया, मैंने पूरी पढ़ाई भी करी, बट कैन आई रियली इम्प्रूव? सो इफ यू हैव दिस वांट टू इम्प्रूव, right, Zainab, next morning you come back stronger.
Yeah.
This is what I feel. So this is physical activity, this is passive learning, this is time boxing, decreasing the distraction, prioritizing one thing at a time, and think about your own goal, because that makes it so beautiful. But the most important thing, Zainab, you have to take a class. Zainab, Zara at home is filled with energy and she's sitting in front of you.
Yeah.
And you have to push her aside, right? And you still have to take a class, which we don't talk about. It is about, if you know what is at stake and you learn this word sacrifice, then the real word of focus comes. So what about sacrifices, Zainab? I'm sure you must have done in different phases of your life. You still do it every day.
Yeah.
So what about that sacrifice that we should talk about when we're talking about focus?
I think everybody has some sort of a sacrifice, big or small, that they do make, and I don't want to make it into anything fancy or something very noble that I am doing. It's just you do what you got to do, in simple terms. Right now, if I got to show up and I got to do this thing, you just have to do it. You just can't make any excuse. So just the same for all of the students. You got to do this right now. You got to do it. So no matter what comes in your life, big or small, you have to tell yourself that this can wait. This has to wait, because right now my energy, my mental space has to be focused on this. I personally, I don't, as I said in the beginning, I can't think of multiple things at the same time. My brain does not work like that. So I tell myself that my mental space right now has to go into this. If anything else happens to Zara at that moment, or she needs me for something, I have to tell myself that, okay, if it can wait, it will wait, and I'll come back to it later. So no matter what happens, whether it's mental, physical, or whatever happens in your life which needs your attention while you are studying or while you're focusing on preparing for NEET PG, if it can wait, make it wait. If it's something which that needs to be done right now, all right, this will wait for a moment, I'll come back to it again. So you have to prioritize, in one word, and you do what you got to do. So this is what it all boils down to, that at this point, this is what needs to be done.
Right.
Plain and simple.
So if you look at the other way around, Zainab, you are a young lad.
Yeah.
You are doing your
Probably.
MBBS. You have a chance to get a postgraduate seat.
Yeah.
You will be treating patients or become a scientist or making new drugs and decreasing the ailments. Either you'll improve the quality of life or you'll save life.
Yes.
And you can make a choice right now. For that, you need to only focus.
Yeah.
How many in the world do they have this option? Majority won't. 97% of people will not know what they want to do. You are a doctor. You are into such a noble profession. It's about brain. You have to fight this entrance exam and enter the next phase.
Yes.
You can cure, you can heal, you can save, you can improve, right? And this is something you did that you wished for when you joined MBBS. So you have a big reason to focus, because whatever is rare is of value, right, Zainab? So it's very rare that you can build your own career. And it's just a five-letter word called as focus that decides where you are or where you're not. So that's why it's all about focus. This is what you should remember. And concluding remarks, Zainab, from you.
So what I want to say in the end, while you were, I will stretch the video a bit more. While you were talking about the garden and the trees, something came to my mind. So there is a disease, in the brain, which is called as simultagnosia. So simultagnosia is something, let's say that I have written all of these A's here, okay? So I asked the patient that mark out the A's out of this. So what the patient will do is, he will take a pen and he will mark out these chota chota A's, but he misses the big A's here. So this is what we call as missing the forest for the trees. You are in the middle of a very crucial phase of life where yes, you have NEET PG, which is down the road, and you have to prepare for it, but there are so many other things also happening with you. So life is passing by, and we know that you only live once, right? So what you have to realize is that make sure you are studying, yes, you are focused, for sure, that is what we are talking about, but then there are so many other aspects of life that you also don't ignore at this point of time. So do not miss the forest for the trees. You are living life and it's passing you by. So do not take so much pressure of the exam. That is what I want to end with, that yes, we talk about focus, we talk about concentration, but don't take it as a pressure. That is something very important, because that only will make you lose that focus. It will not make you want to focus, like how you said कि मन ही नहीं हो रहा पढ़ने का, तो focus कहाँ से करे. So this is what you have to realize, that there are so many other aspects of life, and this is not the only thing which is going to define you. Your rank is not the only thing which is going to determine कि आप successful बनोगे या नहीं. Not at all. So don't take the pressure of it. There's a whole life which is waiting for you, which is passing you by. So enjoy this journey, enjoy this process. Focus अपने आप बनेगा. So it will happen. Trust the process, have faith in yourself, and it will increase. So we have given you various pointers. Hopefully those will work, but they'll only work if you don't take it as a burden, if you don't take it as a pressure, and do it with a smile on your face.
Yeah. So keep smiling, take it easy, but remember that you have to work towards it. That's all. Thank you very much, Zainab. Thank you very much.